So guys, we're going to look at how to use a FlatMap in this tutorial. So normally you use a FlatMap when you have a list of streams that you want to combine together to be one thing. I'm just going to demonstrate what I mean. So let's say here we have a goal to as you can see here, we have paragraphs, 2 paragraphs. What we want to do is we want to take everything here and combine it as characters, like as separate characters, as words together. We want to make this thing and print all the words in here. But then now we have a problem. The problem is that all the words that have a letter A are not supposed to be printed on the screen. So as you can see, we are faced with a conundrum, a problem, because if we didn't have that condition, we were just going to iterate and print everything fine. But now we want all the words that have a letter A removed, and we see that these are paragraphs. So we can achieve this using flat mapping and streams. So what we want to do something like, we want a list of strings, list, and what we want to do, we want this to be our data source. So what we want to do, we want to make a stream of this. But you see that it's a stream of string, and in this we have more words. This is actually a paragraph, and we are going to break it down to give us all the words, so that we can treat each word individually at a time and check if it contains a letter A, then we remove it. So the first thing we're gonna do here, we're gonna, before we do the filtering, we have to do the mapping first. So what do we want to do? We want to use the flat map, as I mentioned. So we see that X is a paragraph. So what we want to change X to another stream. So we're gonna say stream dot off. So that X, we want to make it a list of words. Remember that off takes a list, or it takes what you can say array. So what we want to do, because off takes an array, or it takes a variable argument, which is almost, you can say it's an array. We want to convert this into an array and use a space as a delimiter. So we can say x.split, and we use a space as a delimiter. So what we have essentially done here is that this will be a separate stream of words. This will be another separate stream of words, but they will be combined together. Then what we want to do, we want to apply the filtering. So what we want to filter, any word that contains a letter A is removed. So what we want to do, we want to say x is a word, because now we have combined this into one thing. The flat map will do that for us. So what we want to do, we want to say to lowercase then what we want to do, we want to say contains, then we say A here. Then what we want to do, we say it doesn't have to contain A. If it doesn't contain, so what we want to do is, if we leave it like this, we are only saying all the words that contains letter A should pass the filter and go to the next processing in the pipeline. but we want all that contains letter A to go out, so we're gonna negate this. So then in here we can call collect on our method. So we can now print our list. So if we run this code, as you can see, we have the young PSG who match light, and everything that starts with letter A is removed. So let's say we only want anything that contains letter A. We see was a lady named traveled faster than, so it was actually performed for us. And you see that this flat map will actually combine the streams together to make it one thing for us, so that we know that we are dealing with one thing. So you can have a situation whereby, let's just remove this one, you have multiple streams. So let's say I have stream of integer list equals to stream dot off and 2 3 4 5. Then we have 2, and then you want to process this together. So what you can do, you can say stream dot concat. So you have list of streams, then you say dot flat map a. So what you can do here, you can say what are you flat mapping of okay, let me see this concat, what does it return? Oh, it returns a string. So this is not what we wanna do, because it returns a string. So what we want to do is we want to make these things to be one thing. So what we could do, we could say stream dot okay, let me say list dot alright. So this is not a perfect example. The example I was looking for is this one. We have list of streams, so arrays dot slist. So this is the first stream and this is the second stream. So we have list of streams that we want to combine to be one. So what we can do here, we can say 6 7 8 9 10. So what do we do? It's the same thing. We're going to say list dot flat map. Okay, we have to stream that first, and then we say flat map. We know that x is a stream, then we return x, which is fine, then we collect. Then we have actually turned that into one thing, because the flat mapping actually helps us to put this into one thing. If we remove the flat mapping here, you observe what happens when we print. You see, it's just an object. So the flat mapping converts this to a list, such that when we not to a list, sorry, it helps us to combine the streams to make it one stream. and the collect method will then collect that stream and convert it into a list. So this is the use case for a flat map. There are many use cases for a flat map that you can actually be able to think of